guys, Tracy here. Welcome to the sewing channel. So moving right along, our tutorial today is on this right here, this envelope pillow. Now, the envelope pillow cover itself is not the star of the show today. The star of the show today is what's on the outside here. Now this is a quilting pattern, a very simple quilting pattern, although it does look a little detailed, right? Because of the pattern and it has the dots in it and whatnot. But what makes this the star of the show is this right here. Now, I don't know if you all know what a walking foot is, but this is a walking foot right here. It comes with your sewing machine typically. A lot of times though, you may have to buy it separately. But if you do a lot of quilting or a lot of thick things, you'll want to invest in this, definitely. Or you want to make sure that the sewing machine you buy has this. Because it's able to go through thick layers without shifting too much. And that's key when you're quilting, and especially when you're quilting something like this. Let's continue on with this. It kind of looks like an alien, right? When I first got my sewing machine, I didn't know what this was until probably, I don't know, 2 years or 3 years into sewing. So I used this, but then there's also this, okay? And it was in there too, with all the whatnots that come with the sewing machine, right? I never knew what it was. So whenever I tried to use this, I never used this because I didn't know. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right? Right. Okay, so now let's get to the materials that we're gonna need for today's project. You already know you're gonna need your walking foot and this crazy silver tool that goes in the side, this bar, right? Okay. So you're gonna need some pretty fabric. Yes, you will. And mine is from Durham Fabrics. Is a beautiful creamy background with some blue dots and flowers. Okay, off-white muslin for the back of my envelope pillow. Now, here's where my pillow's different. In my pillow, I used fusible foam. Yes, I did. Fusible foam is what's going to make this pop and stand up, because a lot of times these pillows are a little slouchy. This right here, this foam, once you iron it onto this fabric and it fuses just very lightly, you don't have to pin, you don't have to spray, and nothing. And it just makes a nice, solid, sturdy pillow with that nice finish on the front. I mean, it looks very professional. But if you don't have the foam, you can use your batting. You can use any kind of batting. Now what I would do is if it's real thin, I would double it up, because that's gonna help keep that stable and sturdy, right? This little pillow right here, I got at Walmart in the clearance section. They had a bunch of them. I don't know how many I grabbed, like 5 of them. $2.50 each, right? I thought, I'm gonna cover all those. You know, when you see a good deal like that, you're thinking, what can I sew with that, right? And so all you need is this pillow. Let's get started, guys. Okay, guys, just iron the fusible foam and the fabric together, and we'll get on to the next step. Now let's get our walking foot all set up on the sewing machine. Take your other foot off and screw on the walking foot. Just be sure and know what your manual says, because it may be a little different setup than how I'm doing it on my machine. Okay, now insert that tool that I did not even know that I had. Now find the 45-degree angle right there on your ruler, and you're going to line that up on the corner of the fabric. You're going to draw that angle with your chalk, and then you're going to add a wider ruler next to that line that you just made. Mark that out. Now I needed a longer one next because my little square one didn't make it all the way. And I'm going to mark that, and it marks down the center of the fabric, and you will sew on that center line without the guide first. Here you're going to push your gauge in and out to figure out how wide you want your stitches to be apart. You see I've sewn my first line and my gauge is lined up with that stitch mark that I just made. Now you see I'm started and that gauge is right there. Now my eyes are going to stay right on the gauge. I'm not going to look at the needle going in and out, because if I do, I'm going to mess up. You're going to follow that line right along the gauge. Okay, it looks great. Now let's take the 45-degree angle again, and we're going to put it across ways of the stitches that we've just done, just like that. We're going to mark it just like we did on the first lines. We're going to set our wide ruler down so that we get more toward the middle, and we're going to mark that, and that will be our first stitch that we're going to follow. This is really a super easy pattern to do, guys. If this is your first time, what a perfect pattern to start with. We're almost done, guys. Be sure and like and definitely subscribe to this sewing channel. Oh, it turned out super cute. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for my fast and funny story about that little metal rod and my walking foot.
Now I have a story to tell you. The first time that I ever did this pattern right here, it was on a purse. And I was doing like a quilted tote bag type thing. And so my mom also sews. So I called her up and I said, Mom, I want to do that little quilted diamond pattern. What do I do? So she said, well, you draw the lines and you just follow the line. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's exactly what I did. But I stopped at YouTube first and I looked up how to sew this pattern, right? Because I had never done it, and who knows? You always go to YouTube when you're looking to how-to something, right? Right. So anyways, so in that tutorial, they told me just to mark the lines with a marker every time, okay? Every line you did, you marked it, and you marked it, and you marked it. Well, at the time, I only had this yellow chalk, right? And so I marked all these lines, and they were like perfectly, I don't know, 1 inch apart or something like that. And so then I go through and I sew all the lines and everything. Oh my goodness, it took forever because I had to write out all those lines, and then I had to sew them, and then, get this, I could not get the yellow chalk off of my material. I don't know what was wrong with it. It was just, I thought it was all washable, and it wasn't, and blah, 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 and you know the story. Didn't turn out well, okay? I think I threw that project in the garbage. But anyways, so I called my mom back, right? And I said, Mom, what in the world? I did something wrong or something because, you know, it took a long time to do that and whatnot. So she says, well, did you use the little tool that comes with this? Your walking foot? And I said, what do you mean? She said, you know, that little bar, it goes in the end right here. There's a little hole, and it goes in the end like that and just pushes right in, and it gauges, you know, the width between your next stitch. I said, I don't know of any tool, Mom. Let me go look. I went in and looked, and sure enough, I had this tool in my toolbox. So I redid my project. Well, let me tell you, I made 1 line, and that was it. The rest I gauged from this. And you can make it adjustable. You don't have to just keep it at 1 width at all. So it's customizable, and you know what? That is a very true story. And I was a little upset at that person taught me to just keep doing the line and, you know, and chalk it all out on my fabric, when all I had to do was mark it 1 time, actually 2 times, because in this tutorial today you'll see you mark twice and that's it on the fabric. You'll mark the corner first, to the 45-degree angle first to get it going, and then you put another thicker ruler here to get it toward the middle, because you always want to start in the middle, okay? So, needless to say, I learned my lesson. Don't we all learn sewing lessons as we go? And that's what my channel's all about, is to teach you what I've learned.
Thanks, guys. Take care.